This is Sir Keir Starmer meeting with China's President Xi Jinping. You can see Xi there, the handshake between the two. This is the first meeting at this level between the two countries in 6 years. And of course, you're looking at the world's second richest and sixth richest economies. But like I say, they have not met face-to-face at a prime ministerial and presidential level for 6 years. That obviously follows attempts under the Cameron administration to try and forge closer ties with Xi Jinping and China. At one point, David Cameron taking the president to the pub for a pint. Well, that all got much more frosty in recent years, and we can now see these latest images being shared to us from Rio de Janeiro on the sidelines of the G20 summit. This first meeting between China on the right-hand side of the tables and also the UK representatives on the left-hand side. There they are, Sir Keir Starmer meeting with Xi Jinping. Well, also in Rio at the G20 summit is our defence and security editor, Deborah Haynes. Deborah, what should we make of these images?
Well, the Prime Minister has said that he really wants to have a sensible and pragmatic relationship with China. We've yet to hear the readout from that meeting, which is taking place, as you said, it's on the sidelines of the summit here in Rio de Janeiro. Behind me, actually, leaders are arriving, and we expect the British Prime Minister and the Chinese President to be among those that will be arriving here very soon to start the actual summit proper. But of course, like all these global events, it's the meetings on the sidelines that often really matter. And clearly, this for the UK, a very important moment for the British Prime Minister, the first time since Theresa May, when she was Prime Minister back in 2018, have two officials from the UK and China met at this top level. There will, of course, be concerns back home in the UK about the line that Keir Starmer is going to take when it comes to China. Real worries about the threat. People like to quote it as the challenge or the risk posed by China in terms of security, also in terms of its economy. We're also seeing, I think, just now pictures of Keir Starmer. This is him arriving now at the summit. He's going to be greeted in a few moments' time by President Lula of Brazil, who is hosting this G20 meeting of the world's biggest economies. They actually represent 85% of the world's GDP here in Brazil, meeting today and tomorrow. 75% of global trade. They are going, of course, to be talking about big global issues like climate change, like poverty eradication, but overshadowing events here is the war in Ukraine. There is going to be a communique. There you can see now Keir Starmer greeting being met by the Brazilian president. They'll have a photograph. He will then go inside, and actually in a few minutes' time you can expect what's described as the family photo, when you have all of the members of the G20 as well as other senior officials that are here. The Secretary General of the United Nations is here, Ursula von der Leyen, the head of the EU, she is also here, the head of the African Union is here, and Brazil has as well invited a number of non-G20 countries to this summit. But as I was saying, you can expect, you've got there's President Xi Jinping. He hasn't arrived yet, but when he does, I'm sure we'll let you know. The war in Ukraine will be part of the communique that is released from this summit. But it's interesting because the G20 contains countries like the UK, like the United States, like Canada, that are key allies of Ukraine, or at least the US has been under the Biden presidency. There's questions about what the relationship will look like very soon under Donald Trump. But as well, you've got countries like China, you've got Russia here too, and how they will influence the communique will be interesting to watch.